Ever wondered what the easiest plant to grow to sustain your family might be? Enter the Jerusalem artichoke, a plant that's not an artichoke nor is it from Jerusalem. It's a tuber, and a beautiful one at that. It's one of the most prolific plants known to us, boasting one of the highest yields of all plants. When times get tough, this plant could be your saving grace. The Jerusalem artichoke is a plant that has been heralded as a war plant of the first order by the likes of the United States Department of Agriculture and the prestigious journal Science, and for good reason. When war and famine lay heavy hands on humanity, the question has often been raised: why is more of this plant not grown? One of the reasons that the Jerusalem artichoke is such a fantastic plant to grow is its beauty. It blossoms with gorgeous flowers, making it a delightful addition to any garden. But aesthetics aside, it's the tubers that really steal the show. Unlike sunflowers, which are in the same family, you don't eat the seeds of the Jerusalem artichoke. Instead, you eat the tubers, and boy, are they delicious. This plant has a long history of sustaining armies on the march. Soldiers could march through a region, hack down the plants, and leave the tubers in the ground through the winter. They can be dug up at any time, providing a readily available source of food. Now you may be thinking, sure, it's easy to grow and it's a good source of food, but what's the catch? Well, there's always a bit of good, bad, and ugly with any plant. But that's a story for another time. For now, let's focus on the fact that this could be one of the most important foods to sustain your family in difficult times. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into the process of growing this prolific plant. The Jerusalem artichoke isn't actually from Jerusalem, and it's not an artichoke either. This plant, with its beautiful flowers and prolific tubers, has a history as intriguing as its misnomer. Let's delve into the annals of time. The first known mention of this plant was by French explorer Samuel de Champlain in the early 1600s. As he traversed through the meadows of North America, he observed the native tribes cultivating an array of crops, from Brazilian beans to squashes and these unique tubers. He noted that these tubers had a flavor somewhat akin to artichokes, hence the name Jerusalem artichoke. However, this name is a linguistic twist, a corruption of the Italian girasole, meaning sunflower, referring to its sunflower-like blooms. There's a fascinating connection between the Jerusalem artichoke and the first Thanksgiving. It's believed that this tuber was among the bounties shared between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. The Huron tribe, in particular, were known to consume the Jerusalem artichoke, often making it into a hearty pottage or stew. This hardy plant, native to North America, has since traveled far beyond its original borders. Today it's found on every continent save for Antarctica. Despite its global spread, it's still a relatively unknown crop to many. The Jerusalem artichoke is a testament to nature's bounty and human ingenuity. It's a plant that has fed armies on the march, sustained families through harsh winters, and added variety to the diets of the early settlers. All of this from a plant that is often overlooked and underappreciated. As we've seen, the Jerusalem artichoke is much more than just a plant. It's a piece of history, a survival tool, and a culinary delight all rolled into one. It's a testament to how nature can provide, even in the harshest of conditions. Now that we know a bit about where this plant came from, how about we learn how to grow it? Growing Jerusalem artichoke is a straightforward process. This sun-loving plant thrives in a variety of conditions, but for optimal yield, let's walk through the ideal growing conditions and care requirements. Firstly, Jerusalem artichoke is a perennial plant, so find a spot in your garden where it can stay long-term. They prefer full sun exposure and well-drained soil. Although they're not picky about the soil type, enriching your garden bed with organic compost can give them a good start. Next, let's talk about planting. Jerusalem artichokes are propagated from tubers, much like potatoes. You can purchase these tubers from a local nursery or online. Each tuber should have at least 1 or 2 eyes. These are the growth points from which the new plant will sprout. Plant the tubers around 4 inches deep and about 1 to 2 feet apart. This gives the plants plenty of space to spread out and grow. Moving on to the care requirements. Jerusalem artichokes are quite low maintenance. They are drought tolerant, but for the best yield, provide them with regular watering, especially during dry spells. Mulching around the base of the plants can help retain moisture and suppress weed growth. Jerusalem artichokes are rarely bothered by pests or diseases, but it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for any potential problems. One thing to note is that these plants can grow quite tall, up to 10 feet in some cases, and may need some support to keep them from toppling over. Staking or the use of a trellis can be very helpful, especially in windy conditions. As for feeding, Jerusalem artichokes aren't heavy feeders. An annual top-up of compost or a balanced organic fertilizer should be sufficient to keep them happy and productive. So there you have it. From selecting the right spot, planting the tubers, to the general care, growing Jerusalem artichokes is a breeze. With these simple steps, you'll have a garden full of Jerusalem artichokes in no time. A garden full of Jerusalem artichokes is great, but knowing when and how to harvest them is crucial. Let's dive into the harvesting process. The best time to harvest Jerusalem artichokes is after the first frost of autumn. This frost triggers the plant to convert its starches into sugars, giving the tubers their sweet, nutty flavor. Simply dig around the base of the plant with a garden fork or your hands, being careful not to damage the tubers. These underground treasures can be hidden quite deep and spread out, so be sure to dig a wide berth around the plant. Now let's talk about storage. Freshly harvested Jerusalem artichokes can be stored in a cool, dark place for a few weeks. However, their thin skin makes them prone to dehydration, so for longer storage, it's best to leave them in the ground. In fact, Jerusalem artichokes can be harvested as needed throughout the winter, providing a fresh source of food when other crops are scarce. Just mark your plants well so you can find them under the snow. But here's the real beauty of it all. If you leave some tubers in the ground, they'll sprout into new plants come spring. This perennial characteristic makes Jerusalem artichokes a low-maintenance, high-yield crop, perfect for those seeking to maximize their garden's productivity with minimal effort. You may wonder, won't the tubers rot in the ground over winter? Well, the answer is no. Jerusalem artichokes are surprisingly resilient. As long as your soil drains well and doesn't turn into a waterlogged mess, the tubers will happily overwinter underground. One final tip before we wrap up. When you're harvesting, don't feel the need to dig up the entire plant. You can simply take what you need and leave the rest in the ground. This way, the plant can continue to grow, and you'll have a fresh supply of tubers waiting for you whenever you want them. With proper harvesting and storage, you'll have a consistent supply of Jerusalem artichokes. Now that we have harvested our Jerusalem artichokes, what can we do with them? Well, the culinary uses for this versatile tuber are as diverse as they are delicious. From traditional pots of hearty stew to modern adaptations, Jerusalem artichokes can make a fantastic addition to your kitchen repertoire. Let's start with the basics. Jerusalem artichokes can be enjoyed raw, sliced thinly, and added to salads for a crisp, slightly nutty flavor, or try grating them and mixing with a tangy dressing for a refreshing slaw. If you prefer them cooked, Jerusalem artichokes lend themselves well to roasting. Tossed in a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roasted until golden, they become wonderfully caramelized and deeply flavorful. But don't stop there. Jerusalem artichokes make a creamy, comforting soup when boiled and blended, perfect for those chilly winter evenings. Now let's talk about traditional dishes. Historically, Jerusalem artichokes were often used in a thick stew or pottage, a staple of many a colonial table. This hearty dish, often featuring other root vegetables and a protein, is a delightful way to experience the historical roots of this tuber. But the culinary adventure doesn't end with stews and roasts. Jerusalem artichokes can be transformed into a flour substitute. While this process requires a bit more effort, it opens up a world of possibilities for gluten-free baking and cooking. And finally, for the adventurous foodies out there, did you know you can roast Jerusalem artichokes and grind them to make a coffee substitute? It may not replace your morning cup of joe, but it's an interesting way to explore the versatility of this humble tuber. Remember, Jerusalem artichokes are not only delicious, but also packed with nutrients, making them a great addition to a healthy diet. Experiment and find your favorite way to enjoy them. With these cooking tips, you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor in a variety of delicious ways.